Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Knights Around the Table, the one, the only. Thank goodness. I'm glad that you could join me today. I'm not an alcoholic. I promise I'm not an alcoholic, but the reason I bring that up is because, like alcoholics, like when you don't understand the disease, just all you gotta do is not drink alcohol, right? And with me, it's like all you gotta do is not update the software, crucial software that you need to stream 10 minutes before you stream. That's all you got to do to not hurt yourself, and then you'll be fine. But I still do the wrong thing all the time, and that's what I found myself doing 10 minutes before the stream, and that's why the stream's starting a couple minutes late. Thank you for your patience. Here I am. Sound off in the chat if you're joining us. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, welcome. Thank you for coming along for the ride. My shot's a bit high, but whoa, look at that. Look at that. This is very exciting to me. It may not be exciting to you. It was very exciting to tons of other people who already have it. And then tons of other people after that got it again. This is a game called Castles of Burgundy. From the knees. It's a beloved, was that Thumpy? It was a beloved board game for a very great number of years. And they decided to redo it. And I'll tell you more of the story as we open the box. They decided to redo it, and then they did a spin-off, and then finally this company called Awaken Realms came in, and they do like big lavish productions, and they thought, oh, why don't we take older IP and rejuvenate it with a big lavish production? So they did that. They ran it on GameFound and Kickstarter, one or the other or both, and did a really successful campaign, and tons of people bought into this, and then they waited, and they built it, and they delivered it, shipped it to everybody, and then they decided that there were enough people who were still interested in it that they could do that a second time. So this is the second run of that, and everybody already received it in Canada. We're a little bit late on the second run because there was a Canada Post strike. Nobody could get their boxes. So just in time for Christmas, middle of January, this arrives on my doorstep. So I'm very excited to open it, but you'll see tons of other people who have already unboxed it and played it and licked it and whatever they're going to do to their board games. So this isn't a newsworthy thing by any means, but like most things with Knights Around the Table, I'm hoping that you're here because you enjoy the company and you're up for the banter and the nonsense, and that's I try to bring to you. That is exclusive. You can take it from me. Great. So I guess one thing that I was really excited about with this is that I'm going to be, is my address on that side? I hope not. Look at that. Look how pro I am. I blotted out my address. Come and find me. Please don't. One thing that I'm going to be looking out for is UX. You know that term, user experience? I have a feeling that these guys take after companies like Apple, just like people take after companies like Disney for the exemplary way that they train their staff and treat their staff and have them, they call them cast members and make them feel like they're part of the show, the entire experience, even if they're not performers on stage. I think that Apple, although I'm not a gigantic Apple fan by any stretch of the imagination, Apple pays a lot of attention to the product design experience and what the box looks like and how it feels to open it. So that's what I'm going to be keying into, because this is a premium experience, the premium upgrade to a very nice game. So here we go. I just realized that it's kind of like it's like Feld month at Knights Around the Table, because the last thing we looked at was Civolution, and that was by the exact same designer. I'm a little worried though that I have this camera set to autofocus, so if it goes in and out of focus, yeah, look at that. You know what? That's annoying enough that we're going to fix it right now. We're going to nip it in the bud. Give me 1 second. Da-da-boop-a-doo. How do we do it? We go to here. I know what I've got a quick shortcut where I can do it. Talk amongst yourselves. Nobody in chat saying hi. It's a little bit lonely, a little bit sad and lonely. Great. I've minimized everything. That's good. That's what we want. All right. One brief moment, and then we'll be ready to rumble. Hopefully everything doesn't blow up when I double click this button. Coming up. Now, let's see if that did it. Are you fuzzing in and out? No, you're not. Perfect. Look at that. When things work, I'm just so grateful, because they so seldom do. All right. So what do we have here? The first exciting thing on the top of the box is this piece of foam. And then we get beautiful, nicely packed custom pieces of styrofoam in the corners. Burgundy. Open here, the Castles of, great. The Castles of Burgundy, it says open here. Well, it's already open. Somebody's been in this box before me, I'm sure of it. Wait, look at this. Dear backer, if you read this letter, you have just become the lucky owner of the special edition of Castles of Burgundy. This unique release results from a collaboration between Awaken Realms and Ravensburger. That's a German board game company that you might know from their jigsaw puzzles. If you go into any fancy store that has nice jigsaw puzzles, Ravensburger's on there. And then if you play Lorcana, Disney Lorcana, Ravensburger is behind that collectible card game. From the very beginning, this was an exceptional project for us here at Awaken Realms. Having the possibility to work on one of the legendary board games is such a fantastic honor for us. Moreover, blah, 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 collaborate with Stefan Feld. Yes, yes, yes. First of all, yes. Yes, fluff, back padding. We're excited to present you with the ideas we've been working on over the last months. It's been a couple of years, fellas. In this special edition, you will find, you know, we got an ad coming up, so I might as well just read this straight through the ad. So if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're blocked by an ad, just don't worry. All you're missing is what's written on this sheet of paper. We're excited to present you with the ideas we've been working on over the last months. In this special edition, you'll find a complete redesign of art and layout so that every piece has fantastic art and enhanced in-game usability. Only the best materials. Picture one of those artists in commercials where they're like, you know, like planing down a piece of wood and there's wood shavings, or they're putting special chocolate things with tweezers on it. That's what they're trying to evoke here. And they're doing an all right job, to be honest. Only the best materials have been used to provide endurance and a premium feel. Many extra components will bring this gaming experience to the next level, providing this unique game with a genuinely royal character. In addition, a brand new expansion is waiting for you, the Vineyards of Burgundy, designed by Stefan Feld himself. Stefan Feld himself, you guys. Oh my gosh. You'll also find some completely new, I always pronounce that dookies, but is it duchies? I don't know. I looked it up and I found that maybe I was wrong in pronunciation. Anyway, that you've never used before. Together with Ravensburger, we're proud that we're able to craft a refined experience that elevated Castles of Burgundy to a new level, exclamation mark. We hope that you'll share our excitement. Yeah, It's just pretty fluffy. Last but not least, okay, anything important? Would love to hear your feedback. Would you though? I don't know. Share your thoughts. Go to Board Game Geek, rate it, etc., etc. Thanks, everybody. CEO, blah, 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 Elia. Important notes. Bent or broken. Oh, that's kind of nice. You know, if stuff's bent, if stuff's missing, if something's damaged, here's what you do. Appreciate it. So already, that's an extra step. Like, that's like something that has to go through copy approval, and then we got to pay for the envelope and da-da-da. So that ain't nothing. I appreciate it. That's fine. That's nice. So already they're setting me up for some modicum of excitement. One thing I'm not super excited about is the fact that stuff is in separate boxes. And I don't know how much of this is a cram it all in the same box experience, because frankly, I'm out of shelf space. But by way of explaining this thing, you can pay, of course, different levels of money for the thing that you buy, and I paid extra for these. Now, I think the two biggest add-ons were you can get minis for what is an incredibly not mini kind of game, and you can get these acrylic tiles. It might be and or. Well, I think it's probably and, right? So instead of cardboard tiles, acrylic tiles. I've heard these are very, very nice, but from all the pictures I've seen of the minis, they look unnecessary. I wonder, do I have... No, I don't have a picture of them. I queued up before. Maybe in the edit, I'll put that in. But acrylic hexes, acrylic tiles, and acrylic hexes. Excited to get into that. And then back here, more styrofoam. And in the bottom is the big box. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Shorter than other, like the Everdell box. Oh my God, everything's falling over. So there it is. But it's a beefy boy, ladies and gentlemen. That ain't nothing. And then, did I pay extra for this? I have no idea. Most of the time when I back these things, I just kind of like back them like between my fingers like that, because I don't want to know. I don't know what's going on. I want to be surprised. I want to be interested and excited. Here we go. I'm interested. I'm excited. Great. So for those joining us after the break, we got the acrylic hexes and the acrylic tiles out. We got the big old box out, and we have a neoprene mat, which we'll get to investigating forthwith. As soon as I find my knife. My knife is going to be found. It's back here. There we go. Everything good. Everything good. So when I queued this up on like GameFound or Kickstarter, wherever they posted it, I think GameFound, I mentioned to my wife Cheryl, who you know from other streams, and she said, "No, don't buy that. It's a lot of money." And she said, "We don't play it, right?" I said, "I don't know about that." So I use an app that I love. It's one of the most important apps in my entire life. Other people, that's stock tracking apps. For me, it's BG Stats. So BG Stats is an app. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it if you're kind of like a stats nerd or you want to keep track of the games that you play. You download BG Stats. Every single time you play a game, you can log it. You can keep track of your whole collection. It does wonderful things. And what I really like about it is that, one, it settles arguments. So this was a minor argument. She's like, "Don't put any money into the Castles of Burgundy thing. We don't ever play it." So I queued up Castles of Burgundy in the BG Stats app. It's our most played game. We've played this more than anything else in the collection. So nuts to you, Share. We're blowing the dough. But also, like, arguments will come up. Cheryl will say to me very often, "Oh, I don't want to play that with you because I never win." And I'll be like, boop, 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 boop. And I'll be like, "Look, you win like 75% of the time." So it's great. It's like a Black Mirror, that "I told you so" episode, when they're constantly recording their lives through their eyes. And when a couple gets into a fight, listen closely. They can play back what they recorded is what I'm trying to say. Box for Acrylic 0. Graphics not working. Doesn't matter. There's a rule book. It's not a super complicated game at all. This is one of the nice things about it. It's easy to teach, fairly easy to play, and it's got that fresh from the factory smell, indeed. Easy to teach, fairly easy to play. It wasn't super easy to set up because you had all these millions of tiles, which I think we're going to get into shortly. And they're, at least in the base box, there was no, like, you throw them on in a plastic baggie and there's nothing to hold them, so that wasn't so great. Help sheets. This is all on very nice linen finish stock. I guess player guides or whatever. I suppose. The board, which we can throw out, I guess, since we have the neoprene mat. And the tiles, which we can also throw out. But do you? I mean, I just don't have I just don't have the heart to just throw out perfectly good cardboard like that. Like, I have a whole box over here on my shelf where I just store, like, thing after thing of, like, upgraded games, and I'll take I'll keep the nice component, obviously, and then I'll take the thing it's upgrading and I'll stick it in that box. And I'm like, I don't know why. Just the fantasy of, like, one day I'll prototype a game and I'll need the pieces. I won't. I don't know what's going on. Just like, it's just a delay before the garbage. Anyway, holy crap, these are these are lovely. So these are the player boards. So here's one upgrade I'm noticing immediately. It's recessed is step one. Look, you got nice recessed areas for the different things, the tiles that are, this is the kind of game where, just like Civolution, which we looked at last time we were together, which was by the same designer. There's a main board with stuff on it, tiles, and you want to build your tiles out here, but you can't go directly from the main board, blop onto there. You have to go from the main board to here and from here to here, and then you build out your tile. And there will be different sheets that we'll place inside our player board like that. All right, and then, well, hold on, I'll say more when we start getting it. So all the player boards are identical, except they've got a different coloring on them, and they've got a different character up in the top right. And as far as those minis go that I was mentioning, I've seen miniature versions of these characters, and I think, to be honest, I think they look a little bit goofy. I thought they were kind of, these busts were a little kind of derp looking. I didn't really want them. But look. So what these are, is the way these work, I believe, is you slot them in. I've got to slot it in the wrong thing. Let me get the yellow, just in case it's keyed or something. Am I wrong about this? Do you slot them in? Am I completely wrong? How does that work? Do you not slot them in? I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe entirely, maybe you don't slot them in at all, but something like this has to go down there. I know that much. This is a big old 32B. I don't even know what's going on. I'll figure it out as we go. As we go. Those of you at home screaming at your computer, yes, I hear you. Great. Not sure. Never seen it. But if you you own this, you can tell me. If you were in chat right now, you could yell at me in person, live and in person, and let me know. Beautiful. Always like to see metal coins. They're silver in this game. These are some wooden tiles. These are the commerce tiles that you can purchase and I think make money. It's I'm a little bit fuzzy. I really should have played the game in preparation for unboxing. It's got some dice. This is the dice game where you roll dice, and the dice you roll determine which tiles you're allowed to take from the main board to build out your castle. Very nicely done. Very gorgeous. Everything so far gorgeous. I can see why they're happy and proud of this. And these are little score marker tokens, I believe, for the different player colors. Always like to see purple as a player color. Who can fault them for that? Nobody. It's the best. Always play purple when we got a chance. I know the channel color is blue, but man, if there's purple, I'm playing purple. Do they go there? I don't know. It'd be nice if they give us like a a legend to put everything back. I always like to see that. Drawbags, very nice drawbags. They're kind of like suede lined, and they feel like that material they make gym pants out of, maybe on the outside. Nice. It's nice. There's 4 of those. Ooh. These are a little bit more plasticky feeling, but still a little bit suedey. But they're lovely. Lovely. Oh, stuff goes here. Tiles, I assume. Great. And then you say, well, right, you didn't get... Oh, these are standee holders. So I'm betting that I'm probably getting like acrylic versions of the 4 player characters. I don't think they're necessary. I could be wrong. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, so trying not to damage things. Because wouldn't that just be the way? So this next tray down here, we have... I'm going to put this down here. Great. My mouse being in the shot the entire time. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does come with these little minis. So it does come with some minis. So everybody gets 3 castles. So you've got 3 castle minis for each player. And then it looks like you do have a bust of each player. I don't know why. I can't remember in the main game. But these are the ones that I thought kind of look kind of goofy. I've seen them painted. This is the other thing, is I don't need another painting mini burden. I've got minis out the wazoo that I haven't painted yet, and I feel bad about it. They're just sitting. I even moved everything down, next to the couch so that when I watch TV, I can paint minis and I haven't touched it yet. I don't know. But these actually look better in real life than I've seen them look in images. I don't know why. They just kind of look goofy to me in pictures, but they look all right in person. So there's a 4 player minis. I still don't understand why. One of the reasons I didn't want to get the minis of all the bits, so you can get there are different pastures and things that you can put on your board, and the pasture minis have little sheep on them, and there's buildings and stuff, and it just seemed like, and I heard from folks in the Discord server, by the way, if you want to join us in the Discord server, that's what it is. It overlaps our title, but that's okay. Join us in the Discord server and you'll get great advice like I did about whether or not to buy the minis. And they just said it's like, it's going to be a whole other tray. It's a lot to manage, more than is necessary, more than the benefit it provides. So I'll take this little binding off and we'll look at these. Shabadoo. Yeah. Great. That's the noise it makes, in case you were wondering. Let me put that back so I don't mess up too many of them. So they're different player mats, and if you want like a really balanced game, you can give everybody the same organization on the mats, and if you want to be asymmetric, there's different versions of different maps in there. So what they do, this is what I was trying to say before, is on your player board, you take one of these, and you go blazam. Did I do that the right way? Is that the wrong way up? Whatever. It goes in here some way, somehow. Maybe the number goes at the bottom. That's what we're trying to do. But joosh, look at that. Pretty and beautiful. And then these guys are to hold the tiles so that they don't go nowheres. And that looks great. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're not appreciating this yet, we have to go on a little trip down memory lane to look at the evolution of this game. So I've got a picture here I can show you. Feast your eyes on this. And then here's what Castles of Burgundy OG looked like when the original came out. There, meh, Bedoo, Bladunk. I mean, look at that. Worlds different, right? And then, like, even after this one, they went and they did a it was a popular game, so I can't remember if it was the same company or different company. I think same company. Leah came and they did a they thought, oh, we'll just update the graphics and we'll make it look prettier. And they came up with this. That's the main board. That's I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and it's all down to opinion. And my opinion is that that is gross. I don't like it. Just no, sir. And then they did this thing where they're like, oh, it's a popular game, so we'll do spin-offs, because of course that's what board gamers want, is they want spin-offs to popular games. So they made this thing called Castles of Tuscany, which again, to my eye, like, it looks a little bit garish, to be honest, and it never really, I don't know, never really excited me, because it's like, like, you got Castles of Burgundy and you got Castles of Tuscany, and when you're going to play one and not the other. I don't like spin-offs, and I don't like sequels. So I didn't buy, for example, Voyages of Marco Polo Part 2, because it's like what is that? Is that a patch? Is it a better version of that game? Do I need to own both? When am I going to play one over the other when I don't even have time to play the first one? The first one's a very good game. So I don't know. I just, like, I get it. Like, the easiest way to get money is to go to people who have already given you money and see if they can give you more money. Totally get that, and I respect the hustle, but it ain't for me. Let me put that back. So I think we're 2 trays down. I'll put these little shields back. These are nice. These are very, very nice. They're very, very nice. They have a really low profile. I almost don't notice them when they're there, but they're going to keep your tiles in there. They match up nicely. I like that a lot. That's really, 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 really nice. Love it. Great job so far. I went looking for the name of the creative / art director of this project, because I think that's the person who really deserves a lot of accolades with this. Maybe it was a joint project, but, like, sure, the artists do a good job and the art looks nice, but having done some of the work before, I can really appreciate what it takes to have the vision. I mean, the artists make the art, but then there has to be somebody who commissions the art from the artist and knows what they want and knows, how the whole thing's going to tie together. So let's just pop this open. I think this is maybe where we'll find the Vineyard stuff. Is that true? Delicious, do not eat. There's a leathery, suede kind of bag. Cards. Are there cards in this game? I don't even remember. This must be for an expansion that I know nothing about. What are these, knowing the game as well as I do? I have no idea. It must be part of some expansion that I haven't played. This is it. They released a few small expansions as the game went on, and some of them got, kind of weird and hard to get. I think that this version incorporates at least a few of those, if not all of them. This, again, like, I don't know. Oh, this is open? No, it doesn't. It's 1/2 of something, maybe. Am I wrong? 1/2 of this thing. Whoa. But no, maybe not. Looks like, I don't know. I'm stumped. Does it go on the edges of something? I don't know. It's a mystery. This is I see. This is like an adjunct board that you can put to the side of your player board, I'm guessing. This is your Vineyard. Am I right about that? Is that how that goes? It doesn't really puzzle piece together nicely, does it? So I might be wrong. But yes, this is part of Vineyard for sure. Dig deeper. Is Vineyard any good? I have no idea. If you played it, let me know. And it's got this pretty grapes thing, which again seems like, I'm betting it's mostly pointless, because it looks like all it is a strip with like little dice with their pips on it, which you could easily accomplish with a piece of cardboard, but that's not what we're doing here. I think looking at the holes down here too, it looks like they fit hex tiles that go blah, 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 blah. So you're probably buying different hex tiles, maybe for your vineyard based on pips that, on the dice that you play. Guesses. I don't know. I haven't played it. Blah, blah, blah. So that's the new thing. So, of course, if they're going to sell this to a lot more customers, they have to come up with a compelling reason why you would need a new version of it, having owned the original. So one of the things that made the original, I think, very popular, aside from being a very good game, is that it was cheap. The original version, when people were like, oh, I'm new to board games, what game should I get? People invariably would say, oh, Castles of Burgundy. And they'd say, you can get it for like, this is going to be Canuck bucks, so don't faint. You can get it for like $40. In Canada, anyway. $40, not a lot of money for a board game. And that price, like, it didn't go up. It stayed that way for a very long time. But, of course, it looked like that. And no storage to speak of in that original. So now that we have some stuff open and we can start goofing around with these acrylic tiles, I'm excited to get into them. I don't understand the difference between acrylic hexes and acrylic tiles, but we're going to find out. Let's open the smaller one first. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it comes with sound effects too. Okay, here we go. And again, you know, don't you know what you're buying? No, I don't. I just when I go to like Game Founder, Kickstarter, just like I scroll like that fast, like everything looks pretty. Buy. That's why I end up with so many board games and I'm out of shelf space. Buy on impulse, and most of the time I'm pretty happy with what I've got. Only one or two. If you've seen my my video on my father's work, that's one that was a really big disappointment for me. But by and large, I'm pretty happy with what I get. This box contains acrylic tiles and tokens that can be added to the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition as replacements for the cardboard. All right, let's see them. This was apparently the big show, say the people on the Discord server. What's the Discord server, you ask, Ryan? Well, let me tell you, here's the address. Join us for the best darn board game advice you'll ever get. I was told today that I'm going up against Sports Ball, which is why nobody's here live. That's fine. They said, oh, no, it's a bad idea. I'm like, bad idea? That's my stock and trade. Oh, that's going to be some tough plastic to get off of there. Yikes. You don't want to damage the thing. No rip strips on this stuff. But look how pretty, everybody. Oh. So these guys, in addition to making original games, they have done at least one more Redux version of a game. And that would be Puerto Rico. If you know the original Puerto Rico, just like Castles of Burgundy, Puerto Rico sat atop the Board Game Geek Top 100 list for a good long time. But it was a little bit anything about Puerto Rico. It was about you were managing a plantation, and already that word plantation, you know what's up. So you were managing a plantation, and you were managing the workers on it, and the workers would arrive at the island of Puerto Rico on ships, and they were represented by little brown discs. So of course, you know, you look on Wikipedia, the history of Puerto Rico, like so many places in the Caribbean and the Americas, slave labor went into what was up there. So obviously slaves, fine. Okay, I've played lots of board games that have slaves in them, but the dumb thing about Puerto Rico is that the game refused to call them slaves because, I don't know, they were being unnecessarily prurient. Prurient, is that the right word? They're being weird, man. So they're like, oh, they're not slaves, they're colonists. Like, who are you trying to kid? It was a bit, I don't know, insulting to the intelligence of players, I think. So they came out with a version later, much like they did with another game called Maracaibo. They did Maracaibo the Uprising because, again, people were uncomfortable with the depiction of, I think, Haitians in that game. So they did a version of Puerto Rico that took place after the plantations were no longer run by or worked by slaves. And I think that's the version that Awaken Realms took up the mantle with and started making a fancy, fancy dancy version of Puerto Rico. So if you're interested in that, you can go to their website. Their website, GameFound probably, maybe Kickstarter, I can't remember, and pick that up. But it's got, you know, sky-high production values and nice but unnecessary minis to make the board look really nice. And I bought into that one as well. Because, as you know, I'm a big fan of upgrading board games. If you've seen the series, Bits Please. Usually that comes a little bit quicker. Let me try that one more time. If you've seen the series, Bits Please. Bits Please! should find the button before I spring that on you. That whole series is all about making your board games look better via 3D printers and laser cutters and whatever other craft supplies you can get going. Ooh, it's like open up a candy in church. Woo, so noisy. Great. These are Vineyard tiles, it looks like, for the new expansion. A couple more. But for the most part, I don't recognize what a lot of these are or what they do or what they're for. So there are some treats and surprises in store for me. Oh, I do remember these. These are like, if you're, again, I'm trying desperately not to damage the finish on the top. If you are the first person to finish a block of color on your board by placing buildings down, then you get a tile worth that many points. And if you're the second person to do it, you get a tile worth that many points. So that's what these are. Do they need to be acrylic? Oh no, heck no. They absolutely do not. But life is short. Might as well play pretty board games. Do these fit in the main box? I don't know. I would love to find out, because I don't know that I want to, have to remember that I got to bring out this other box every single time I play. But those are they. They are nice. They go back. You know what? Let's scour this for a little bit and see if there's a. So those are definitely for the main tiles. I don't know, man. Like, is it? Gee whiz. Is it in the instruction manual? The rule book, maybe? It tells me where everything goes. That would be nice. I always like a nice map. Nope, so far, nope. So I can't find a legend there. I might have missed it. It would be the first time I'd missed something. Awaken Realms, not super. I should mention this. Weren't super friendly to me when I went to Gen Con a couple summers ago. I don't know why. Just asked them if book in for the meeting, and they were like, "New phone, who dis?" It's like, oh, that's weird. They said, no. All right. I showed up in person. I was like, oh, that's kind of odd. Like, guys want to meet? They're like, nope. Okay. He's like, you ever offend people and not know why, know what it is you did, and then maybe years later you find out, you're like, oh, yeah, I can see, I can see why you wouldn't want to meet with me at Gen Con. It's got to be that kind of thing, but I haven't got to the part where I figured it out. Oh well, no biggie. There's not a lot of banter in the chat. To wit, 0, so I'm going to make it up as I go. Look, pretty. Pretty. It's only going to get prettier as we go. Like I said, when you get the minis, you get little like 3D cows and sheep that pop out of these things, but it's kind of like, I could see it kind of being annoying because these go face down. I think you still have to play with tiles even when you play with minis. I would assume so anyway, because these go, see, they got green on the back. Do they go face down? They go face up? Oh, you draw them from the bag. That's it. You put them in the green bag and draw them from the bag. But then, like, you put them in on the main board because you're not going to blind. Are you going to blind draw minis? I don't think so. I'd assume you blind draw the tiles, and then when somebody grabs the one that has, for example, 2 sheep on it, they're like, oh, I get the 2 sheep one. And then they got to rummage through, your container of minis and find the 2 sheep mini and put it on their board. And that, like, I agree. That sounds like kind of a pain in the buttocks. Does it not? Now, these ones, is there a spot for these in here? Not here. Let's go digging. Let's go digging. Oh, box is falling off. Little standees for standees. Huh. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they have to go in their own thing, because this is they fit nicely in here, but I don't know. I think that these guys, only the cardboard tiles would fit in there. That's what I think is going on. That's okay. It's a bit of a drag that I have to remember to pull out like extra boxes. I'm always worried. This is a stupid irrational board gamer fear, but I'm worried that I'll play a board game and I'll get through like the 3-hour experience and I'll be like, oh no, I had a neoprene mat and I didn't use it. Why? I paid XD bucks for it. No. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. But I do like it when everything's together. I thought about, I've got a video coming up where I'm talking about neoprene mat storage, because they're not the easiest. You know what? I should open these from the naked side instead of wrecking the paint job. I've got a video coming up. It's a Bits Please video. Bits Please! There we go. That talks about neoprene mat storage and the advantages and disadvantages of neoprene mats as an upgrade. And one of the things that I've mused about with that is maybe coming up with some sort of menu that I can hang somewhere that lists all of the games that I have neoprene mats for, so that I can just, when I go to play a game, I can double check the menu, because that's the other thing about neoprene mats is they don't fit in your board game boxes for the most part. And so when you play a game, you just kind of have to remember that you have it, and then you have to remember where you store your mats, wherever you store your mats, and that's what that video is going to be about. So I know, neoprene mat menu, but then whenever you get a new neoprene mat, you have to update the menu. I don't know, it seems like a pain in the butt. They might be more trouble than they're worth, these neoprene mats. I don't know, tell me, do you like them? Tell me in the comments. Do you buy them? Do you like them? Now, here's one thing that I don't think they improved from the base game, these yellow tiles. These yellow tiles, or maybe they made overtures to improvement, but this is still the weakest part of the game. These yellow tiles all do stuff. What do they do? Well, they got a picture of the building, and then they've got some sort of effect that the building has, right? And then the effect that the building has, you kind of just have to know what the iconography is. And it's so different. Every one of them is so different. You're like, oh no, I got to look that up. And so you'd have to grab the manual to the back page and look up all these yellow tiles. So I'm wondering if, so these are the player guides, and the player guides list all the yellow tiles. So at least everybody has, are there 4 of these? I hope there's 4. Yeah, I think there are 4 of these. So everybody at the very least has a little guide so they can just cross-reference what the yellow tiles do. So that's an improvement, but I don't see a lot of improvements to, maybe the iconography looks just as opaque as before. So, in an ideal world, you'd rig it up so that you don't even need that, but iconography is hard. It's tough. It's tough stuff, man. I'm working on a game right now. It's a video game that is a VR game for 2 players, where one player is in VR and the other player is on a phone. And one of the things that I wanted to do with the game was to ensure that we didn't have a big localization burden, because when you make a video game, every single piece of text you have to go translate into, 5, 10 different languages or whatever you're doing. You translate because obviously you want to reach. Obviously, you want to reach as large an audience as possible. So, EFIGS is the acronym: English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, and then maybe for 2025, simplified Chinese as well. So, the fewer things that you have to translate, the lower your localization burden is. So, I thought, I looked at the company's last game and I saw look, I'm just going to twist this puppy. Ooh, yeah. I thought they were going to go flying everywhere. I'm a little bit disappointed. Oh no, now they're going to be even harder to pop out. Oh no, what have I done? There, let's try twisting one more. Okay, that's good. Right, so to lower the localization burden, I made an executive decision to keep everything cryptic, and not cryptic, but just explained in symbols only as much as possible. And we, I think, succeeded in keeping language out of most of the game. We got it in the settings. There's not much you can do to get around putting it in the settings. So you can put like sound effects, music, control slider. But in the game, nunzo. But then the trick is, like, you got to do all this playtesting to ensure that the symbol that you think means something means the same thing to the players, right? And that the majority of players can interpret that symbol as what you intend it to be. And the game's a bit interesting in that some symbols are meant to be explicatory. They're meant to mean something to the players, and some symbols are meant to be cryptic, and it's not always clear. I don't know if we're quite successful yet in conveying which are which to players. It's a tricky thing, but I thought, it was interesting to me that I take a step back from video game work for a few years, and then as soon as I get back into it, I was running a channel for 5 or 6 years, and I get back into video games, and all those influences that I brought back from board games came with me into video games, and one of those influences was iconography out the wazoo. So a lot of these board games, they don't want to localize their boards either, right? They want to have everything down to symbols so that, and it's a larger cost, of course, for board game companies because they have a hard goods cost. Like, they have to pay for additional manufacturing, and then that just complicates your logistics a tremendous amount, because not only do you have to put rule books with different languages in there, but you got to sort out all the boxes and all the different printings of different languages of the boards and cards and yada blah, yada blah. We see hybrids, right? We see some games where it's like there's, we dropped a little piece of, it's like what happened when I made dinner earlier this week. My wife's like, there's plastic in the tuna, right? Whoops. Uh-oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, someone's getting plastic in their Castles of Burgundy. Ooh, what was I even saying? Language? Something about language? Doesn't matter. Right. Board game companies have additional costs beyond what video game companies do. Video games, what you do is just basically go make a big sheet or a couple of sheets that have little ID numbers that identify all the different places, the different fields. We call them in UI, where you want all the text to show up. So if it's French, grab the text from here. But then you have, interestingly, in video games, well, you have this anytime you do localization. Different languages are different lengths, generally speaking. So I think it's French 1.5, and then German is like 2.5 times longer than English. I think that might be the calculation, and that's only like vague, right? That's not a hard and fast rule either. So you just have to make sure that, like, whatever you do with fields, you make your UI dynamic enough so it can resize itself based on the actual number of characters you have. Because our German friends, as we know, like very long words with no spaces in them. Portmanteau hybrid words. What are these double tiles? This is Vineyard stuff for sure, because I don't recognize double tiles in Castles of Burgundy at all. Huh, double tiles, pretty cool. They look nice. They look really, these tiles are gorgeous. They feel good. They sound good. I'm not sure that they smell good. All right, that's done. That's done. I'm not going to do all the cardboard, but I do wonder if there is... I'll crack open the sheets just to see what's up, because every once in a while I'll do an unboxing, and then I'll go to play the game, put it away or whatever, and be like, where's this thing? I've lost it, and I'll go back and rewatch the unboxing. I'll be like, oh, like that one a few live streams ago where the thing where I was looking for flew as cards. Oh, it's for Ascendancy. They flew over my shoulder and got stuck in the baseboard. I'm like, afterwards when I was making the video, I was like, where are those cards? Let's go roll tape. Let's watch the evidence. Like a police body cam. I figured it out though, and thank goodness, because if I hadn't had the live stream to watch, those cards would honestly have been lost forever. Would have had looked like a big dork and had to write the publisher and ask them to send replacements. Man, great. I'm surprised there's so few silver coins. Really, you only need that many silveri or whatever the game calls them. Is it only that many? Maybe. I don't know. Is that like an upsell opportunity? Like, oh, you're running out of coins, lad. You can always buy more from us. Don't know. Don't know what's supposed to go in this big well. Don't know. Maybe when we take a look at the cardboard, we'll see the items that don't get replaced by fancy acrylic tiles. Oh, I think mostly, you know, like I'm not going to punch them all out. We'll just flip through the sheets together to look. All right. Right, so I was going to say the other thing about the minis and the reason I didn't buy them, apart from the pain in the butt of fishing them out of a separate tray, is that they stand like the castles. Hold on, let me dig a castle out. They stand not insignificantly high above here, and I was really worried that like get too many minis clustering the thing, and you'll be like, where's what's behind the, you know, they just kind of block stuff. These are, you know, they're pretty stubby, so maybe it's not too bad. Maybe that was an unfounded fear. But the final thing we'll open, big old thing of cardboard. Again, how do I get into this without severely damaging? Doesn't matter, they're all going in the trash anyway. Lump, 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 lump. All right. So we saw those. We've got tiles for those. Yes, we got the ship tiles. Yes. We have those. We have the green ones. We've got the red ones. We've got these ones in that separate small box. Here's new. Here's new things. So we've got these in acrylics, but these portraits I don't think we have. These, yes, we have. 100-point markers, don't think we have. Yes, we have these. Yeah, so that's the big one, is these worker plus minus guys. So what these do is they, the whole thing is a game where you roll dice to determine which actions you can take on the main board, which tiles you can claim, and the little worker guys adjust the pip on the die up or down. So if it's a game where you're really worried about the randomness of it, they're like any good Euro game with dice in it, there are ways to mitigate that randomness. So we have all of these. There's a ton of Vineyard tiles. Holy cow. This, not sure what that is. And then these look like we can't throw these out, because they are, I don't know, but we don't have them as acrylics, so that's the story with that. And presumably they go in this recess or in this recess, I'm guessing. I wonder if we can just, you know, let me take a quick nip out to the old browser-roo while you watch my quizzical face, and I'll just see if they have like a map. Castles of Burgundy rebox map. Is that how you'd phrase that? Yes. On Google it exists, because many folks have tread this ground before me. So the first thing I'm going to do. Yeah. Okay. So what we can do. Hold on. Let me go back. Go here. So here, these things can go in the little hole. I think this whole thing is supposed to be like the Vineyard tray. Is Vineyard any fun? I have no idea. If you played it, let me know. Love to. If you bought this, I'd love to know how many times you've had it to the table since you picked it up. People are noticing that there's sort of like a chilling effect, or not a chilling effect. That's the wrong term. That's for when people are being threatened with lawsuits. It's that they find that once they buy the big, fancy, crazy, huge box version of a game, they don't play it ever again. And there's just something about, I don't know if the box is unwieldy or if it's just like, oh, I'm done with that now that I've got the nicest version. They just don't touch it. And I have found that myself with some of the big boxes I own. It's just like, I don't know, they just feel like a little much. And it's just like, I don't know, I don't gravitate towards them quite as much. There are a few exceptions, but I've noticed that effect myself. So great, I'll do that. Let me just pop out to thing, and it looks like it looks like, at least in this vid, they have, unfortunately, right, so these things, they've got like, pop, pop, they've got them punched out and put right here. Obviously, this big grapey thing goes here, and then there's a whole website I'm following. Let's give credit. Oh, this is just on Board Game Geek. Great. Step 4, step 5. Bottom insert, which contains, I'll show these pictures when I re-edit this later. Some references. Oh, so the references go down here. Where do they go? Reference tiles. Do you really want those on the very bottom tray? I don't know. That's what they're telling me to do. They're not telling me what goes in those two recesses, right? Do I have the right camera shot on? No, I don't. They're not telling me what goes into these recesses right here and here, but they're claiming that I'm supposed to put these references on top. But I would think that the bucket, the picture of the bucket should show me what goes in there. Yeah, they're being a bit cagey. Oh, here they go. Here's a picture. So they want, again, I don't think, because I've got the acrylic tiles, I think they're too thick to fit in here. But really what they want in here, if you don't have the acrylic tiles, they want these smaller grape things to go up here, and they want these brown tokens to go in here. So that's what they have filling that. And they put the workers in bags. Boo! And they put the bag workers like in here, which kind of a little bit sucks. Like, why have a fancy insert if you're just going to dump everything into a big bucket? You know what I mean? All right, I guess so. So throw out that baggie. I'm probably going to 3D print something for that because that sucks. The things on the right hand side, we've got acrylic versions of them. We've got the cards there. We've got those things there. Looking good so far. Looking good. And then what's next? Oh, coins. They wanted coins in there. These are coins. Coins in. And a couple of other things that I can't make out. Dude in the pictures has some natty skull tattoo on his knuckle. I don't have that. The commerce tiles that they want in here as well. In a big, again, plastic baggie. We've got them in the acrylic thing, so no worries about that. The 4 castles, for some reason, they wanted in there. I'd be interested to see what goes on in these top ones. Again, messy. We're going to have to print something on that. And the dice they want in there. I don't know, man. Put things in bags. I do this so I don't have to put things in bags. Great. And then the middle insert. Okay. And these insert pictures are all kind of backwards. You've got them listed as you're taking things out of the box instead of putting things into the box. Okay, those go there, I guess. Throw a lid on there. There's a little bit of, they go a little bit higher than they need to, so I'm wondering if there, and whoa, off the table. And we'll go there with that one. That's as far as I can get it. We'll go there with that one, and we'll go offset it on that one. That's okay. That'll work, I guess. Very fuzzy. You find this with these lids, man. They don't want to. Oh, maybe you can match them up. Great. That's better. All right. So that's the bottom insert. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Hit the mic for one thing. And the second thing, those, I think these will fit in there. Despite them being big boys. Great. And then we get down to the middle one. The middle one looks like it's the one with all the player boards and the castles and everything. Running out of room. Just going to my house is like a hoarder house with board games. So this one's already put away for us, which is lovely. Ooh. Double check to see I'm on the right shot. Yep, and you're not just looking at my face. Good. Yeah. And are we successful? Ish, sort of, kind of thing, I think. Yeah. It's a bit of a crease down there. I think that's as flat as it's going to get. Not being picky. Get in there, Castle of Burgundy. Yeah, there. Okay. A little Knights Around a Table history for you. Castles of Burgundy was actually the very first how to play video. The very first video actually I made for the entire channel was a how to play video for this game. In the edit, this side, I'll throw it up there. Great. And then boards and things go on top of that. I'm assuming all the boards, all the things stacked on there. They've got them in the image. Maybe flippity upside down to prevent damage. And then, according to this image, you can take all the tea in China. You can take this entire Shazam and put it here. Nope. Put it here. Nope. Let's go like this. Oh, it's a heavy monkey. And then all of your baggies can go here, but I'm not going to do that quite yet because I'm going to scroll up and look at the other images and see if they've got a place for the other acrylic tiles. It doesn't really look like they have, so what am I missing? So I guess you're supposed to throw a couple of the top inserts out? Is that what we're doing? This is user, by the way, I gotta give credit. This is user Kenneth Spawned on Board Game Geek. So it looks like Kenneth has chucked this out and chucked out this thing. I hate chucking stuff out when I paid bucks for it, but this seems like a good solution. I just wish that maybe, you know what, maybe we'll just undo this a little bit and see if there's any spot, any home for other tiles in the very bottom tray. If you think we can fit that entire jazz into that recess back there, let's. Oh no! Oh, yeah, that one's hard to deal with. Okay, do we have room? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because this would have to fit in there somewhere, and that is not a thing that's going to happen. So maybe you'd have to take these out and put them in, but even then, I don't know. Oh, you know what I just realized? The one thing that I didn't open is already the workers. So I have cardboarded the workers in here, and they don't need to be. So I think what needs to be 3D printed, if anything, is something that replaces this and fits in here, because there's some wasted space in here that you could use to fit. I think you can cram everything in, maybe, and these, and these, and these, and no, there's no way. That's not all going to fit. It's not all going to fit. But didn't we have like a couple of recesses on the bottom of this that could fit a couple things? I don't know, the 100 pointers? I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to nip out real quick to Thingiverse and see what we got on Thingiverse. Thingiverse.com. Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. Let's see. It looks like. Just need to see a picture of it. Yes, it looks like somebody has replaced this entire bottom tray with an insert so that the stuff fits. I think that's what's going on. It's a little hard to tell. I think so. And oh my gosh, and they got the neoprene mat in there. Holy cow. Holy cow. Well, I mean, yeah, it's worth investigating for sure. It's hard to evaluate just to, being on a live stream and just taking a look at pictures, but I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I mean, there are images, there's photo evidence of it. But again, I just hate throwing stuff away that I paid money for. But if what you paid money for doesn't do the trick and doesn't adequately fit everything, this is the thing. I mean, this is like, have we ever unboxed one of these big box things and found that everything is fit inside it? I think we're like 0 for 10 so far with this stuff, where it's just like, do you know what game you made, guys? Do you know, like, oh, everything fits perfectly except for these 6 pieces, and you just dump them in a big bucket. Even Eagle Griffin, who I uphold as one of the exemplars of doing this, every single game they make, there's always just one little well where they're just like, oh, if we decided at the last minute to make extra pieces, that's where you just chuck them. I don't know. I think it might be because the game design teams are working on a later calendar than maybe the manufacturing teams are, or something. Than the insert teams. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it happens so much. I would love to see it happen, frankly, less. To be perfectly honest, I would love to not have to go source and bear the expense. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Methinks the lady doth protest much. I love 3D printing. It's the best. I love 3D printing. I just don't love the idea. I've even got stuff from like other games where I've held on to the insert, even though I've replaced it with something more functional and better, just because I don't like the idea of throwing stuff out that I paid cash for. But these never feel good. When you lift these out and they feel like they're collapsing in, you're going to crack them and everything. These vacuformed trays never feel good to the touch. So I'm not going to be too burned about replacing them. The only thing I don't like, though, is that they work really well with these lids, and 3D printed stuff doesn't. Right, these lids don't seem to fit on 3D printed things. It's just because when people design 3D printed things, here, I'll try to get this out of the way so I can more clearly demonstrate it. And I get it. They're not pros, they're amateurs, and they're doing it for free, and I really appreciate it. But when I try to make stuff, see the difference here. You've got a beveled edge here. It's rounded, right? If you go and you look at it like that is not a sharp 90-degree angle. That's rounded. So that's nice for fingers, and that's nice to help lids like these fit on there. And they also have this, the other thing to help the lid fit in is they got this little notch or divot in here, and that helps the lid. Well, you know how this stuff works. That's not even the right lid for it, but you know how it works. So that helps it like snug in right there. And just people don't design their 3D printed inserts with that kind of stuff in mind. They don't tend to scoop out the bottom so that, if you either just like, oh, it's easier to cut just a right angled hole in something. And sure, like it is, but the drawback to that is that especially if you have square pieces, when they hit square edges, you're just kind of like, it's a lot of like finger digging you have to do to get stuff out of there. But when it's scooped and there's like nice, edges on things, it's a lot easier to get components out. They'll do stuff like, it'll be so deep in there and there's no, like here you've got finger purchase between these 3 wells, right? But amateurs will just like wall that right off to the very top. So not only is there no wiggle room for your finger to get in and get the components, like they're too deep anyway. So you end up having to be like, smack, turn it upside down. So not great. So I'd love, I'm trying to lead by example. And the other thing I like doing is I like stamping, and this is a whole lot more work and I understand why people don't do it, but I like stamping shapes in these recesses, especially in situations where you empty the whole thing out, and then when you got to put everything back, you're like, shoot, where does everything go? So I like stamping images of what goes in there in the wells, so that when you put it all back, it's a little bit easier to figure it out. And then the final thing that I'm doing, and I'll show you an image of this, is just like a lot of board game companies now are putting in maps, like reboxing maps, to show you how everything goes together. Obviously, people who make custom inserts, 3D printed inserts, aren't doing that. And so, I mean, I was just playing Revive the other night with friends, and it was a nightmare figuring out how it all went back together. I always have to go to Thingiverse, and I always think like, oh shoot, like the day that this gets taken down off of Thingiverse or whatever, or I'm somewhere where I can't access the website, I'm completely hosed and won't be able to put it back properly. So I've started doing explosion maps for the 3D inserts, which sometimes, I mean, this one for Revive took me forever to put together, but I'm sure the more I do it, the faster I would get at it. So I printed that out and put it in the game. And so I'm excited about putting that. I'm more excited about putting that game away than I am about playing it next time. But yeah, that's the situation. So I've asked you a lot of questions. Nobody's hanging out here in live chat, but when this thing re-airs on YouTube, maybe you can tell me a couple of things in the chat. Can you tell me in the chat, in the comments, can you tell me, by the way, if you're not following me on YouTube and you're watching this on YouTube, there you go, that's me. And finally, if you'd like to help keep the lights on at Nights Around a Table and you'd like to see this channel persist and continue, then you can, you can hit me up on patreon.com. We got special prizes, and that just narrowly avoided that Castles of Burgundy logo. Oh, that was a close one. We got prizes and perks and special banner colors for your name and access to special channels in the Discord server and all kinds of other stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes, trying to get implemented for Patreon subscribers. And of course, we appreciate whatever beer money, though I'm not an alcoholic, whatever beer money you throw our way to keep things going. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you've bought this, if you like it, if you played it, if you find it worth the money, or if you're totally good with the original, or if you don't even like the original. I look forward to hashing out with you in chat, and we'll see you next time. So here's a quick epilogue. I wound up 3D printing this from Thingiverse. Oh man, look, it fits absolutely everything. The tiles that aren't in here go into the bags fit, and unbelievably, the neoprene mat fits inside the box. No box lift. So massive thanks to A. Hennings on Thingiverse for designing the original, and Jay Sherples for designing a remix that sort of rejigs things. Very happy with this. Print it yourself. I've got the link in the description underneath the video. Bye.
Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.